It's March 7th, 2022. I'm watching channel 7, but at 4 p.m. Their broadcast, and it's an interesting. How does this work in real life?
Officials reporting some positive movements in creating safe humanitarian corridors that would allow civilians in Ukraine to escape safely. But two prior Kremlin promises to provide safe passage were broken. The Kremlin demanding Ukraine formally recognize two separatist regions in its eastern territories as part of Russia and change its constitution to bar membership in NATO or the European Union before they would consider ending the war. Ukraine's President Zelensky, who has called the deadly Russian attacks deliberate murder, responding in this exclusive interview with ABC's David Muir.
We are not prepared for ultimatums.
Now, what I don't understand is this NATO, is that a savior for the people? Like, is that a negotiation group that are brethren with the people that are under attack, and like the intermediary with the Russian leaders? So this way there are not all of these, they call them casualties, but I'm just curious, is there any operation that is clean for communication between the two whatevers, like Big Brother and Little Brother at Viking standard? Are the two sectors able to vector properly, or do they have other outlets and venues at multi-nation or United Nations interfering with the protection of the situation, the people in the situation, on whatever, to try to avoid further whatever? Because it seems like to me, here's the reporter, ready? Here's Channel 7. Here's who's getting in the middle. And she says that she called the presidents of Germany and a few other countries today to find out what they're doing about business being oil. I mean, isn't that espionage? Why would you give inside information to an outside source reporter when between the US and the UN, this has already got some kind of voice that then makes a same little brother, big brother conflict really hard to resolve because there's so much bizietica? Just curious. I don't have access to the German president or any of the others by phone. I wouldn't even know where to call to find out. I wouldn't know what to say. Got me. But for some reason, she's reporting on this. Oh, it says news, ABC News in Washington. Now, she's not rock, paper, scissors. So that gets confusing at how do they handle all of this messenger service and this communication with all of these busybodies. And then there's like a real conflict going on, and yet you've got all these busybodies calling around for gas and oil projections, bothering the poor presidents, just trying to run the world, no big deal. Yeah, let me take your phone call about gas and oil prices, no problem. I mean, really? There are people dying. Now listen to what she says.
With the leaders of Germany, France, and the UK today as the U.S.
Germany, France, and UK. She had a conversation. Don't know what they said, but I can tell you she's reporting from this outlet with this sacred number. I don't know who she is. I mean, here's her name.
Considers banning Russian oil imports. It's a move the U.S. could take even if European allies who rely more heavily on Russian fuel don't join in. And
how much of this messenger and this message messing up business as usual is going on? I'm just curious now that aviation allows everybody to travel unannounced to the leaders of states and nations around the world. There's like really like important things that need to be kept neat and tidy, but apparently there's always some airport schedule that lets them fly all over and get in everybody's business and cause real harm.
in Washington, Faith Abube, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Oh, there's her name.
Faith, thank you very much. And you can see more of David Muir's one-on-one interview with the Ukrainian president.
Oh, and now this for brethren that know what the word via means. The Einstein loop north. There was an MTA bus saboteur hit a dump truck full of sand. Oh my God. It is amazing how they find these headlines.
And it's possible the driver did not know that he or she had struck someone. The victim was taken to Jacoby Hospital, where she was pronounced dead. An MTA bus crashed into a dump truck on Staten Island, injuring 12 people. Newscopter 7 was over the scene this morning on Richmond
Nobody died here.
Terrace and Hamilton Avenue. This was in the St. George section. The impact of the crash badly
St. George section. Again, I'm not familiar with the city, but I see cities, like I hear the sounds of, I know it's George the Third, but Brits, I'm a little confused. Is that part of Three Pillars construction? Is that part of unrest? Confusing.
badly damaged the front and right side of that S40 bus. 12 people rushed to the hospital, suffered minor injuries.
S40, huh? 4. Two sides of hour.
Injuries. No word yet if the bus driver was among those hospitalized, and police still looking to determine what led to the crash.
Bill Cosby's legal trouble.
Now, this is interesting, talking about controlling the message.
White House.
They're talking about cyber security. They're talking about New York City and a Russian threat. Now, I don't know if this is paradox, parallel, or articulated in any way as a significant message. So, I'm wearing 22s at the moment, which is double Z. I'm not on the 55, the double S at the moment, side of anything for this purpose, because it's this Olympic ring between a big brother, a little brother, and a little sister for me, who's been left in a room, almost shut out, and has experienced some harm while she's here. And I know they're busy with whatever big brothers and little brothers do, being of the same family. But there are some things that come on that concern me when I see them, because there's other people inside of my U.S. where I'm staying on this fish island, trying to message and control the message from their whatever. And I don't want them to confuse my big brother or little brother who are fighting, because they get enough on their plates. So as little sister, I'm just like, oh, hand raise, that doesn't look right. Hand raise, that doesn't look right. Who's controlling the message? I just want to make sure that, because I've been shut out and quieted my entire life as mutant, amongst these bloodthirsty and blood hungry for like venipuncture type thing at blood banking. It seems to be this really nasty, dirty business. And now they've gotten themselves into trouble with vaccines and gene manipulations and all sorts of stuff. I was like, I'm mute on that. I'm not for it. I'm just in a really dirty situation. I'm in a colostomy bag. I didn't choose to be here. It just filled up while I was here. And my big brother and little brother are fighting at the moment. Just little sister on the whatever going, oh man, I hope it, oh boy. And here's how they bring the cyber attack message. And listen, and listen to the level of intelligence that the official is telling New York. Meanwhile, some of the busybodies, some of the busyeticas, stuck in the middle of, they have reporter jobs with contacts, with presidential level contacts. I mean, again, this gets really messy between multiple nation, the us, the rock, the paper, the scissors, who's voicing the message, who's allowed to know the message, who's getting in the way of the message, who's using the message to perpetuate new business ideas that make everybody more sick and more dangerous and then war breaks out. I mean, again, it's a lot of different pieces in this ruzzle, and the puzzle in my area is, I don't know, this is what they're telling me.
Against vaccinating.
And financial center.
Now, it says specifically, New York City officials are saying, protect yourself from Russian cyber attacks. Now, if the spokesperson for Russia is Putin, and the little brother's spokesperson is Zelensky, and they're fighting between big brother and little brother, why would cyber attacks come from Putin? Why is there, because there's messengers and there's people who know cyber tactics inside unfamiliar territory, which is a problem. So I'm just confused where this would come from. I'm in at 22, not a 55 at the moment.
Center of the country, New Yorkers face an increased risk, and as a result, city officials today outlined the 3 S's, they say, of cyber safety, security, and secure your accounts, update your software, and stay vigilant.
Those tricks often come in the form of emails or direct messages that appear to come from businesses telling you that you need to click on a link to update your personal information.
Now, she's a senator, and this is her level of information. I don't even get this level of information, but she's informing the public. The cyber attacks she's talking about come via email about scam artists trying to steal your money. Now, is that the cyber attacks that were mentioned before? Just curious. Because there's whatever and scary cyber attacks. I should know. I had to live through it, and it's been a long, drawn out, like apocalyptic world of hurt since 2016. Unprovoked, might I add.
Information or collect a prize.
As a result, Senator Gillibrand says she has been working with federal officials to bring more cybersecurity resources to state and local governments.
The Metropolitan Opera will stage a concert in support of Ukraine next week.
Now, this is interesting because Metropolitan Transit Authority is one set of union jobs. You do realize that while they're here, they're trying to collect, along with some other assortments that are in the same colostomy bag that I'm in New York at the same time. You realize that they're trying to collect Monopoly pieces while they're here. Some kind of, there was a board game like utility pieces and so on, because it seems every labor contract meeting that they go to, I don't know if this is sports book related, but they seem to walk out with a lot of employment contracts, and it seems to be wiping the ability for even my own children. I wasn't able to access a union level employment contract. But now they're speaking about
It's an effort to
music,
show
which is a different
solidarity with Ukrainians
Metropolitan
under attack,
Opera.
raise relief funds and express opposition to the Russian invasion. That concert will take place
That's what I usually say, different echelon.
March 14th and be broadcast on radio stations around the world. It will open with the Ukrainian national anthem and feature prayer for Ukraine. Last week, the Met parted ways with its superstar soprano Anna Netrebko after she refused to repudiate her support for Russian President Vladimir Putin.
Now, I've never been to the Met, never gone, not that I'm aware of, an opera. Not something that's been allowed inside this democratic state of New York with all this colostomy going on of the company lost their kids here. And I don't know who's running the show, but it looked really dangerous. Now, on the evening news, they said that a Ukraine woman went up to a Russian soldier and she had sunflowers in her pocket and said, and was trying to share them with the Russian soldier. I'm not up to date on what that actually means. I just know it's a sunflower reference, which now I had somebody call me once and say I was their sunflower, but I didn't know what that meant. But here we are.
Into this island. At Catholic Health, we're able to provide the highest quality, most innovative care for your body because our culture cherishes your humanity.
This next commercial.
Long Island.
Think premium can't be capable?
Fascinating. Here it is.
That's
Right off of a
GMC
GMC commercial.
Step up to GMC with 0% financing.
Whoever's involved in
GMC
that
models.
brand. It's gotten really messy.
Professional grade GMC.
You smelling all this, Gary?
Love that smell, KG.
See, this is what retirement's all about. Slowing down, smelling stuff. Like these. This smells like...
Now, is he living where Oprah's living?
Bring the spread, baby! Yeah! That's what I'm talking about! What are you looking at, Gary? Stop looking at my flowers, Gary. Avert your eyes.
Get the Planet Fitness Black Card.
They just have their advertisements. It's almost like an admission of guilt everywhere. I just don't know who's pursuing justice in this situation. It's star 1978, star U378, Nicole Cattaruzza. Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxy is broken. It's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. It's March 7th, 2022.